Um, yeah, so how is Pride and Prejudice going?
Great. I believe I'm starting chapter 15, so I read from 8 to 15 this week.
You are a little bit ahead of me. I just got the note this morning where you were, so I think I
It's
got to
okay.
13, where they're going back to their parents. Elizabeth's going back to her parents' place.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so since I don't know the chapters you read, we'll stick with the ones I read, which are most of the same.
Sounds
But
good.
what do you make of what's going on, up till when Elizabeth goes back home?
But I thought, and I kind of know it. Remember last time you were like, oh, it's kind of funny. It's like comedic, and I didn't really understand. But now I think I understand a little bit. Or I think you compared it to like a rom-com. And
Mhm.
yes, I think it's a rom-com now. Because of the way Darcy and Elizabeth and was interacting, and um just as a side note, I always get the characters' names confused because I mix up Bennett and Bingley for one, and then I mix up Mrs. and Miss. So if I like mess that up a little bit while I'm talking, my bad. But that's I was having a hard time with that because I don't just use names.
No,
Um,
that's okay. But of course, you're right. Darcy and Elizabeth are where most of the action is. In some
yeah, for
ways,
sure.
everyone else is sort of a side figure. Um, but yeah, tell me more about the rom-com dynamic that you're perceiving.
I think you could say that they were flirting in a couple scenes. I
Hmm.
mean, at least like jokingly
Hmm.
teasing each other. That's what I thought.
Hmm.
I don't really know what flirting is, but Um, First of all, I did obviously reach the part where you said that Elizabeth was going to be mentioned as a great reader.
Hmm.
Um, I know, I mean, just on the subject of reading, I know there was also a scene where Elizabeth had gone somewhere, I forgot where. But then one of the Bingley sisters, I forgot her name, it was either Katie or the other one, Linda.
Hmm. Hmm.
She wants to try and like make Elizabeth because she sees that Darcy is like liking Elizabeth, so she's like trying to make Elizabeth seem bad by like insulting her when she's out of the room, which I thought was like that's like a mean girl thing, right? Gossip mean girl thing, which I thought was pretty cool. Not cool, but funny. Uh,
Yeah,
and there's a scene where her and Darcy are sitting down and he's reading a book and she's pretending to read a book. And I think the funniest part of that scene was that the book she's reading, pretending to read, is the second book in the series that he's reading. So like she obviously doesn't want to read that. She's just sitting there for him because she
yeah.
wants to seem cool. And then while they're reading, she's like insulting Elizabeth at the same time, which was really funny.
It is
Um,
funny. It is
yeah.
funny. Oh, so I'm glad you're getting it. So let's back up and what is the dynamic? How would you describe the plot lines of a rom-com? Are there any generalizations you can make about what makes something into a romantic comedy?
Well, there's got to be the romance. So I guess in this case, it's Elizabeth and Darcy, and and then the side characters, which are Mr. Bingley, his sisters, Elizabeth's parents, and her sister.
Hmm.
I think sisters, but you really only see Jane, I
Hmm.
think. And then there's the tension between the couple, which is Elizabeth and Darcy. No, Darcy did not like Elizabeth in the beginning, but it's starting to like her. And Elizabeth is still resistant to the fact that I think she notices that like he's looking at her more. I
Hmm.
think there was a scene where she did notice that he was looking at her, but she assumed that it was out of contempt or something for something she said. And she was like, oh, how dare he? I don't like him. I mean, yeah, I don't like him even more, which is like he's giving completely wrong signals, which is bad, but you know.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're getting all of that. So, why do you think tension is important between the characters? Why, I mean, I could imagine one version of romance where, it's kind of love at first sight and, happily ever after and voila. Why all this dynamic of Darcy and Elizabeth kind of annoying each other and, that kind of thing?
Because that would not be interesting. I mean, it would be satisfying if it was just like love at first sight, happy ever after. But in most rom-coms, if that happens in like the first scene, then later on they're gonna have an argument
Hmm.
or a fight, or same thing, or something happens. Um, so I don't think it's ever gonna be like that.
Got it. So the tension is part of what makes the narrative, the story interesting.
Yeah.
Um, And Do you think that Darcy is more clear that he likes Elizabeth, or is Elizabeth more clear that she likes Darcy, or do they both at this point kind of dislike each other? How do you kind of feel out the extent to which they like each other?
I think, um, well, Elizabeth doesn't like Darcy from what I can tell, but
Mhm.
Darcy is beginning to like Elizabeth and is like not thinking so badly of her anymore and
Mhm.
actually disliking that he's liking her this much. I think there was a point in time where he mentioned that or thought that. And that's why he was not fighting them going back to their parents early because he didn't like how much she was staring at Elizabeth. I think that was it. But so I think it's mostly Darcy who's
So
thinking romance at this point.
why, or how is Darcy going to win over Elizabeth? Or do you think one outcome could be that Darcy will give up on Elizabeth?
Maybe, but I think the only way that could happen is him thinking, "Oh man, I'm liking her too much. I should stop." But he's not going to stop because that's not how these types of narratives work, in my opinion. Um, I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to happen. But I think it could go two ways. I think he's gonna keep like realizing, like it's gonna take a long time. Like eventually, in like the last chapter, or whatever, the second to last chapter, he's gonna realize, oh my gosh, I'm in love with her. I'm in love with her. I don't know what to do. Or Elizabeth's gonna start liking him too, because I don't know how that's gonna happen. He seems pretty snobby to her at this point, but we'll
Got
see.
it. And just to make it explicit, then, is it fair to say part of what happens in rom-com is the couple gets together in the end? That's part of what.
Part of it,
So
yeah,
there's kind of this tension early on, or maybe you said it could be love at first sight, but then tension. But then at the end it gets resolved and it's happily
I
ever
hope so.
after.
I hope so.
You'll be disappointed in Jane Austen if she doesn't do that for you.
Yeah, yeah. I
Got
think they'd
it.
make a great couple.
Why do you think they'd make a great couple?
They both like reading, and they're both pretty witty and smart.
So why are we not rooting for, is it Miss Bingley? Miss Bingley is the one,
She's
um,
because she seems like the bad guy
well, I know
in
she
like in the
seems,
story, but
but
she's I know
why?
she's really not, but
Yeah, why do you, what makes her seem like the bad guy?
because she's purposefully insulting Elizabeth in front of Mr. Darcy, and I think everyone who, at least me, but I hope everyone who has read the book at this point likes Elizabeth, so they don't like the fact that the sister is doing that to her, which makes her seem like the bad guy, even though she's just another character. Really, she's not really the bad guy.
Got it.
Something like that.
No, it's interesting, how when you're writing, you're right. It's perfectly clear that we're supposed to like Elizabeth, and perfectly
Mhm.
clear we're not supposed to like Miss Bingley.
Yes.
Um, and why should we be liking Elizabeth? What makes Elizabeth the kind of heroine of the story or protagonist?
Other than her personality, like, oh, she's smart and she likes to read and she's nice and she's kind and she has like big emotions that are interesting. Um, I'm not too sure. Maybe it's because like we really, really want Darcy and Elizabeth to get together. So no matter what, we're gonna like Elizabeth at this point. But I'm not really sure besides that.
Um, is there any sense in which Elizabeth is kind of overly harsh or critical or rude of Darcy? And why can't Elizabeth just be nicer to Darcy?
I'm not sure that she's overly critical because of their first impression, like the first impression didn't he like insult her like to her, not really to her face, but like
Pretty
he knew
much.
that she could, yeah, basically he knew that she could hear. So I wouldn't get over that for a really long time,
I
to be
see.
honest.
So it's entirely Elizabeth's harsh attitude towards Darcy is entirely justified then.
I think so at this point. It hasn't been too long, I
Hmm.
think.
Right. I think it's
Um,
less than a week, I think.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. So,
so in which case, why do you think was Darcy just clumsy and stupid, in terms of why did he behave that way in front of her?
um, I, th- I'm, I forgot the exact, like dialogue and emotions in that scene, but, he didn't want to dance. I know he didn't want to dance that night. And then when Bingley suggested he dance with Elizabeth, that like made him kind of offended, especially because at the time he thought that she was like lowly, I think.
Yeah, I think he said she's too plain, you know.
And
Uh,
now he's like, oh, her eyes.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know.
So, yeah, was it just, do you think it was just a stupid excuse not to dance, or that he didn't find her attractive, or that he didn't find her worthy of him, or just, yeah, just stupid? I mean, why did he
I
do that?
think I think because of his feelings for not wanting to dance, he was like biased on his opinion, especially if because he only saw her for like a glance, basically, really.
Got it.
Um, but then after those emotions like went away, and now and he was like, "Oh shoot, I messed up,"
So,
something like that.
do you think that Elizabeth should forgive him for that slight?
Well, she doesn't have any reason not to, so I don't think she should. If I mean, well, I'm not sure that I think that, but if I was in her position, I would not. So I'm gonna go with that.
Well, I think you said
Um,
last time, one of the earlier times, that you would have a big grudge against him.
I would, yeah,
So, what is it going to take for him to overcome that grudge?
do something better to overcome that grudge. I mean, do something that would um eclipse the bad thing, I think.
Is paying attention to her and the way he's paying attention to her going in the right direction?
For Elizabeth, no, because she thinks that he's like insulting her in his mind
Got it.
because of their first interaction. He hasn't really shown any other emotion besides like playfully arguing with her about something,
Got
like
it.
books or something, but she probably saw that as like contempt too.
Got it. Well, without going farther, is it fair to say you are enjoying Pride and Prejudice?
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Give me a little bit more heads up on how far you've read, because I'm a little bit behind now. I'll keep up with you. So,
It's okay. I'm
uh,
sure you'll catch up. You're fast,
yeah, but we'll
and I'm
touch base
slow.
next Saturday, see how far we are, okay? And then I can read
Okay,
Saturday evening, Sunday. All
sounds
right.
good.
Have fun. Bye-bye, Alana.
Thank you.
You're
You too.
welcome.
See you.
Bye.